So you live on a farm.
On a farm, yeah.
And you go to the stables, and your 3 horses, Billy, Johnny and Freddie, all bolt, right?
They run for the fields.
And then you've got 3 horses running away from you. Now, if you try and chase all of them, how many are you going to catch?
You're not going to catch any.
Right, so something's got to give. We have to go after one of them to get one back.
The slowest one, probably.
The slowest, well, yeah, quite.
This is the Rising High Extended Tea Break, the game dev podcast bringing you the best practical, actionable advice for indie game developers. Brought to you by RisingHighAcademy.com. The kettle's on, so let's go listen in.
Well, hey there, and welcome to episode 27 of the Rising High Extended Tea Break. My name is Kevin, and I am joined with Jilly today.
With me. Hello,
Jilly. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Much better.
It's great to have you back.
Thanks for everyone's wishes as well.
Thrilled you're better. So, back to normality. Back to health, thankfully. And what we're going to be talking about today?
Well, today I think we're going to be talking about not talking.
Indeed. So,
a lot of soul searching over the last few days, i.e. weeks, really. Weeks.
Yeah. I mean, we've had the month of the academy. That made a lot of sense. So,
anniversary.
Thank you. It's really good to have you back, Julie. I will car crash without you. A year of the academy.
And we were kind of thinking, it's the anniversary now. What's
next?
What's coming up in the next year? And we kind of thought, there's the podcast, there's the academy, there's the live sessions, which is, it all mounts up to quite a lot of work.
It does.
In amongst, at the very beginning of all this was the games.
That's right. And what was really interesting that you just said is that you didn't have games in that list.
No.
And
it needs to go back in.
It needs to go. It has and will go to the top of the pile. If you've been listening for any amount of time, you'll realise that I really want to make a game. And we are a game studio at heart. We launched the academy, we're really pleased we've done so. It's been great. But at our heart, we are a game studio. And I think what we do best is build games. And it's what our passion is. And it's got to the point now where
can't fit it in.
We're looking to build a new game and we don't got any time. And it sounds funnily enough, I posted on our Facebook page. You can search for us on Facebook, Rising High Apps. Do a search for that, we'll come up. Go and give us a like, all that good stuff. So I posted on there, it was just a brain dump really, literally a couple of lines going, right, we got the podcast, we got the academy, we got the games, something's got to give, because it soon became apparent that we don't have any time to fit in any, to really have a concentrated effort of building a game. And I've said this previously, I'm normally better when we focus in on one task, get that finished and go to the other one. Like multitasking is not a strong point for me, because my headspace can't handle it. I'm like all in.
Yeah, right? That's right.
All in. And once I'm all in, it's great. I get totally pumped for it, push it out, execute, done, right? And then on to the next. And what's happened is we were looking at, so Monday, Tuesday is podcast time.
Yeah.
And to go back before I deviate too far, I posted on the Facebook page and amazingly some people responded to it. So it doesn't happen very often on the Facebook page. And it was Cyprian who said, why don't you outsource some of the podcast work? And it's just like, we have definitely thought about outsourcing some of the podcast work for the processing, which does take a fair amount of time. But as me and Julie were talking about it, it's just like we realised, actually, although we just bowl up here, there's a fair amount of time that we put in before this to think about what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, it needs a structure.
We're episode 27 now, which is 28 episodes, and we have covered pretty much everything of the low-hanging fruit in terms of building games and what's important.
Yeah.
But what I think is more important for us is to build a game and to come back on and record that as we would do in the academy.
Yeah,
and
for people to follow along.
And revitalise some of these, the problems we're going to face when building our games. And the long and short of it is we don't have the time to do it all. Now, imagine if you're... okay, say you live... oh my God. So you live on a farm.
On a farm, yeah.
And you go to the stables and your 3 horses, Billy, Johnny and Freddie, all bolt, right?
They run for the fields.
And then you've got 3 horses running away from you. Now, if you try and chase all of them, how many are you going to catch?
You're not going to catch any.
Right, so something's got to give. We have to go after one of them to get one back.
The slowest one, probably.
The slowest, well, yeah, quite. But the point being is, if you have so many different pursuits...
Yeah, there comes a time you have to concentrate on just one.
You got to focus in on one part.
For that length of time, yeah.
And as we were thinking about building the game, Fridays for us is Academy Live. And that's where we come on, much like now. We do this live on a Friday for Academy members, but we do it on a screen share. And we do our market research. Sometimes we do workshops and all the rest of it. But as we do the market research, that's a lot easier to do because we have that visual aid.
And
we can go through the App Store and we look at games and we look at the visuals and all this stuff that goes into the market research. And that obviously doesn't translate very well on audio. So there is a certain degree of preparation into the podcast, of which surprisingly, shockingly, no doubt to if you're listening, it takes quite a long time. It takes way longer than you'd ever imagine. I think it
surprised you.
It surprised me. Honestly, it's one of those things. Until you do it, you don't actually realise. It's one of those. And there's many, many things in life that, you know...
Well, I know when we started them, the whole idea was for us to lay the podcast down and for me to go away and do the processing and the write-up.
Yeah.
And in which case we went through a podcast, then we went through what I was going to be doing, and it was 5 pages long.
That's right. And that wasn't all of it, because I still do the academy side of things.
Bit,
I still do the custom images, all the academy side, so academy gets the podcast early, all of this stuff. And it's got to the point that as much as we love doing it, this is the biggest task of our week now.
We need to take a hiatus.
That is what's going to happen. So we're going to take a short break from podcasting. We're going to put it on pause for a little while until we can get ourselves to the point where our time is now our own in terms of dedicating the time that we would spend Monday, Tuesday at least to game building.
Yeah, making a game.
And strip the 3 core elements down to 2. So the academy is going strong, and that historically, before we started this 6 months ago, we had the academy and our games, and we were building games inside the academy, and we record it all and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But that has slipped away, and that's going to change. So we're going to take a short break from the podcast. We do have an interview or 2 coming up that we will be publishing. So if you're listening, make sure you hit those subscribe buttons, either it's on YouTube, in Stitcher or Android or your favourite podcast app or on iTunes. Hit the subscribe button because we're definitely going to be publishing stuff. It's just we're going to take a pause and we're going to see how that goes. And I think that's the long and short of this. We want to concentrate in on the game building side. We have learned so much over the last year, which I think is amazing, just by the questions that's coming from the academy. And we just literally don't have the time to execute on it. We have 2 partnerships that we're in alongside what we're doing right now as well. So that's not into this mix. We have the business side of stuff and the running of the business. And at the end of the day, we have to make some tough decisions to cut. We've taken on too much. Or should I say, the podcast has taken way longer than was ever imagined. So that's the long and short of it this week.
But we'll be back.
Once
we're into our game, we'll be back with all our highs and lows.
That's right. This is not goodbye.
All our problems.
This is not a goodbye. This is a ta-ta for now. And yeah, no doubt we will be doing sporadic ones, but the Tuesday schedule's on pause for now. And we're really sad about it. You will not believe the conversations.
It's taken forever to come to this decision.
It's been really tough because we love doing it.
Yeah.
It's just something has to give, and that's the decision we've made. So yeah, no goodbyes, just ta-ta for now. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Rising High Apps, on Facebook at Rising High Apps. Hit us up on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Leave us a comment if you have any suggestions of topics that we can cover on our return. We'd love to stack these up and get them in the bag. We did have Faisal, one Academy member, did ask us about how to come up with a brand new mechanic.
Yes.
Which I spat my coffee out at the time. Because I was like, oh my goodness, I don't even think we've got enough life to go over that. I'm not sure we'd answer that. So we're going to actually cover that on this Friday's live session, I think. Because that's a really interesting one.
Yeah, it certainly is.
You know, how do you invent something is basically the question. Which is quite a curious one. But yeah, so we wanted to come on. We didn't want to leave you dangling. We want to thank everybody who's supported us so far. We really appreciate it.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's great.
It's been a lot of fun.
The truth of the matter is, in business, you've got to make decisions. And we've had to make this decision. It's been really tough. But we're
not going anywhere.
This is a pause. But we wanted to let you know that that's what we're doing, and to keep a lookout because we'll be starting back up. And the other thing as well, we made the weekly format because we thought we could handle that in terms of time.
Yeah, it's like everything else. You don't know until you try it.
That's right, and we've done 6 months.
We wanted to try it, yeah.
I wanted to get to 40. I'll be honest, that was my secret goal inside, to get to 40 episodes. Or really 52, to be honest, because I wanted to do the full year. But at the end of the day, we got to do what's right for us and what we're feeling. And I feel like I need to build a game.
Yeah, and we'll be back in more exciting mode as well.
Yeah, and when we started to do that, it was so obvious that it's like there's no hope here. Because after the month we took on reflection, doing the devlog for the Academy, we've had a slowdown. And
the thing is with game making is you need to keep doing it.
There is that. I think overall for me, Julie, it's the energy.
Yeah.
It's the energy. I need my energy to go into building our games, and the split of time is not going to work well.
It's worked out to far greater.
I think so. But this is not a negative thing. This is the pausing of the podcast is a positive for us.
Yeah,
we're going to come back stronger, reinvigorated, having a game under our belt at least, and have fresh new things to talk about. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up. I don't want to blur it on so badly. And I think that'll do.
Watch this space.
Yeah, we'll be back soon. So thanks again for listening. Hope you've enjoyed this. Do drop us a message if you've enjoyed what we've done so far, if you like the format.
Thanks to everyone as well for all your comments and your kind words.
And the well wishes for Julie.
Well, thank you. Yes.
So yeah, drop us a message. Where can you get us? Go to podcast@risinghighacademy.com. Head over to the website risinghighacademy.com/27 for this one. Not much of a show notes for this stuff this week.
No, not this week.
But yeah, so come and check us out, risinghighacademy.com. If you want to still listen to me and Julie jibber jabber each and every week live, be sure to check out the Academy. We do have our trial on 7 days for $7.
Come say hello.
$1 a day, get you in for a week. If you don't like it, just self-cancel your account. No questions. Don't even need to speak to us. Just come in, stop your account, and that's it. All right. So on that note, we will say goodbye for now. We will be back soon. And thanks for listening, and we will catch you very shortly.
We will speak soon.
You've been listening to the Rising High Extended Tea Break. To learn more about the resources mentioned in today's show, or to find out more about the Rising High Academy, visit RisingHighAcademy.com. That's RisingHighAcademy.com.